Look through the African champion. Take a league like the Premier League. There is no player from Tottenham Hotspur, no player from Chelsea, no player from Man United, no player from Arsenal, no player from Liverpool,
no Man City,
no player from Man City. There was a time where it was impossible to play the AFCON and get the finalists with that. If it's when Egypt is not winning.
Yeah.
To get any other finalists at the AFCON, the top teams didn't have representation. Is there something changing?
I don't think so.
Okay, guys, we're back again with another episode of Mallam Go Podcast. Welcome to the show. It's our first recording since the AFCON final, and now we have newly minted African champions. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Côte d'Ivoire.
Congrats to Coach, he predicted it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. And to you as well, congrats.
Thank you very
That's
much.
Right. But your prediction wasn't on football issues.
But what about...
I'll come to yours. Yours is special.
Yeah.
Your prediction wasn't about football. It was just about the hatred for Nigeria.
It doesn't matter. Give me fans.
But Danike called it.
Give me fans.
I mean, Danike called it even in our first episode.
Yeah.
That he thought
Yeah.
that Côte d'Ivoire.
So listen, once again, guys, our Niger fans, we have seen all the comments, all the insults you are insulting us. We have bad belly.
We don't care.
We know.
The other one.
We know.
Olu Fofo or something. It
Yeah,
means
Olu-
gossip.
It means we are
Fofo,
gossip people.
Somebody told
we
me
went
that
to
it means
gossip about their tactics.
we are breaking their tactics down too much. We are gossiping about their tactics to Côte d'Ivoire too much. That's why they lost.
Oh, goodness me.
Oh my God! You know, the tweets and the trolling after the AFCON final.
Oh Lord
it's
Jesus!
next level.
It was good.
Like, bro, like next level. Next level.
Very important because they deserve it. During
Shut
the competition,
Look,
Uh-huh.
there's
if
this
you have-
nice girl on
yeah.
TikTok, some Equatorial beauty.
Yeah.
Oh, Charlie, the Niger boys enter the girl in comments inside, they spoil the place there. Oh, because of that, I be like the girl, she take a step back, she don't want to post. What would you want me to post?
Because we like the content.
We like the content.
You see the my favorite thing about this whole thing. Remember when they beat Angola? Then the Angolan Twitter account, some big Angolan Twitter account went to post, "Oh, well deserved win for Nigeria. Well done." The Nigerians came under the ball and said, "You see, this is why we like Ghana. Because you are too nice. What is you deserve to win?"
Yeah. And I also timed on a tweet, I think the person from Cameroon, and that person was so envious of the banter between Ghana and Nigeria. And for him, I saw the tweets like, he's envious of it because there isn't one country that has that with Cameroon or any other country on the African continent. Yeah. Normally, it's either fierce and it's all. But it's the Ghana-Nigeria thing is, even though the banter is there, it's still more friendly.
Yeah.
We are very
friendly.
accommodative. We know we are teasing.
It's like a sibling
but
fight.
we are happy to do that, But he was just envious of the fact that for his country, he doesn't have any other country where going into tournaments or any other entertainment or whatever.
Everything.
Yeah, it's just
it's like
a lovely
if like
relationship.
you hate your sibling, but it's also your sibling because you don't want, like, you would protect them no matter what.
Yeah,
But at home, like, you will fight and fight and fight.
But the
See,
moment
because
an
when
outsider
Yes.
or an intruder comes in,
yeah.
you forget about it.
Yeah.
You will quickly remember that this is my black.
That's right.
I have to
So
fight back.
if you notice, when Ghanaians and Nigerians meet outside of their continent, they
we are like this.
very
we
We are like this.
care about each other. So listen, you are brothers, are cousins.
Still,
so-
you've lost.
But you lost. We are laughing. We're going to laugh. Somebody said the good thing about the loss is that Nigerians didn't even have lights to watch the matches.
Right.
Somebody said
There was doomsalization of their
my favorite was somebody said, why are Ghanaians talking? We didn't see you in the final. Somebody said, how can you see us in the final? You don't have lights.
People are on form.
It was lovely.
Correct punchlines. Correct ones.
Oh my God. I saw one where what's that? Somebody said oh, if Nigerians lose to the Ivorians speak French and they speak English. No, there's no trolling. And somebody replied, said, that's where Ghana comes in.
this series.
That's where Ghana comes in.
This series that became so popular where they were Money Heist.
Yeah.
You know, that is where if something is going to happen, then they ask the professor, so how are we going to break this? And say, that is where maybe Coach Nimley comes in.
That's right.
Somebody
That's
has,
right.
yeah.
That's where Ghana
That's where Ghana
They
comes
say,
in.
the Ivorians speak French, so they can't troll us.
Yeah.
That is where
Yeah,
Ghanaians come in.
Money Heist thing, yeah. Brilliant. I love it. Brilliant.
But Tayu,
Yeah.
a quick question. When God was making the our African brothers, in fact, the baby girls on the continent, I think he left a screw out of the waist of the Ivorians, Togolese,
Yeah. Congolese.
Not because there's twerking, but this one is different.
What do they call it?
Charlie, when they do it, it's different.
Show me.
The
song. The song that became famous, no?
Boga, the coupe du matou.
How do the Congolese
When
girls
they
do?
play the Congolese girls, this one say I'm talking about the Ivorians.
Okay, the Ivorian girl.
Boga, the coupe du matou. When they play the thing, after the final,
Oh, let me play some.
No more. Look, I could feel it in my bones. Bang, bang, bang.
no, Charlie. See, at the point, I had to close my eyes.
You have to.
You had to.
I had to close my
Because
eyes.
you're a married man.
Charlie, I look left. I see buying.
Mapuka girls.
No, Charlie.
Wait, get it right. It's coming.
Shanji. Gang, gang, gang.
Gang, gang, gang. Yeah.
No, see.
See, but how this song took over the AFCON, I would never
It
understand.
had
Because
to.
there's an official AFCON song.
It had to.
And
Because
people
you know,
abandoned that one.
This thing
and
usually
go for
happens.
this one.
This thing usually happens. You remember World Cup 2010?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah.
World Cup
By the way,
2010.
DK, you just came from Abidjan.
Yeah.
Tell us the story.
Charlie, the stories there plenty.
No, not that one. The story you are telling us, how it happened.
This one.
Yes.
The song.
But it usually happens. If you remember, World
Oh,
Cup
you mean it
2010.
usually happens, right?
Yeah, World Cup 2010. I've even forgotten the official song for World Cup 2010. But Canaan's waving flag.
Waving
took
flag.
over.
It took
Yeah,
over.
yeah. That
But
wasn't the
when it
official
was,
song.
when it was
actually
Waka Waka.
Shakira.
No.
Yeah, Waka
Waka Waka was the official
It was
song.
also
It was an
popular.
official song.
Song, but
yeah,
waving flag became the South African
Yeah.
song.
It just
Was waving flag more popular than Waka Waka though? That's a question.
during the
Because
World
Coupe
Cup.
de Mato is definitely more popular.
I don't think in
I don't think
2010.
Waka Waka. I don't think waving flag was
Zamina,
more
Mina.
popular than Waka
no.
Waka.
Waka
Waka
Waka.
Waka Waka was something else.
Yeah, but you see, it became more popular even after the World Cup. But during the World Cup, the song everybody was playing was waving flag.
Yeah. And again, with 2010 wasn't the social media World Cup. But this song, as people have used it for TikTok,
Yeah.
Instagram. So the social media thing, I think it is the first proper AFCON that social media. I know the last
Has
2 years
actually taken
we had
off.
but even now the way CAF ran it, the way media journalists have used social media has been on a different level. And individuals, to be fair,
This is the first
So,
TikTok World Cup.
This is
This
the
is the first TikTok.
It's the first
AFCON.
TikTok AFCON. It's a split.
I mean, it was there in the last edition.
Yeah, but it
But
wasn't massive.
it wasn't-
massive.
Yeah.
In
This
fact, we
one
had the first TikTok World Cup in the more recent World
Yeah.
Cup. So
Yeah.
And this one, TikTok was more deliberate. They actually paid influencers
yeah.
to do AFCON content
Yeah.
on TikTok. So it makes a lot of sense.
So think about it. What music could you use if you are doing a TikTok content for TikTok during the AFCON? That is going to be surely one of the songs. Yeah.
Coupe du Matou.
Yeah.
Bam, bam, bam. Ah, I love it.
Coupe du Matou.
You know
As the girls are doing sideways, then the men are doing bang, bang, bang.
Oh, Charlie.
See, and the Ivorian team, then they'll form the queue, then they'll be running, they'll start bang, bang, bang.
That's right. You don't need to know anybody. Bang, bang, bang.
Charlie. I love it.
This is what I love about winning.
Yeah.
When you win and you get out on the street, you don't need to know anybody.
Yeah.
But everybody is your friend.
Yeah.
Charlie, I left the stadium around like 3:34.
PM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
AM.
Adam.
AM.
And then the bus in the media bus leaving the stadium. Charlie.
You mean the day of the match?
On the
No,
final.
the final.
You
The
stayed
final.
in
So
the
after,
stadium
yeah. So
till
after
4 the next
till like
morning.
4. So let me say like 3:34.
Okay.
Bro, people still the party.
I told you.
So what
Charlie,
do you
like
expect?
heavy party.
I was told that everything was free.
Everything
Anything was free.
Wait.
Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, Charlie.
Let's name the things that were free. Food.
Bang, bang, bang. Oh, bang, bang, bang. Oh. Why you laughing? This one was free.
It was very free.
Oh, the game was this not free?
It was free.
It was free.
What is this?
It was free. Oh, bang, bang, bang.
only from the Ivorians, the Nigerians.
No, but
They pay me their
They were
face.
There were
suffering.
tears.
They pay me their face.
Yeah.
All right,
Suffering.
guys, let's talk about the football itself.
Right.
This AFCON showed you what 2.2 billion audience watched this World Cup. At this AFCON, that is the biggest AFCON audience in the history of the AFCON.
Yep.
They had more commercial partners than any other AFCON, more TV partners. They had more social media impressions. They had more everything at this AFCON. And on top of it, even if the actual football itself was not exciting, we had exciting moments aplenty. The most goals at any AFCON ever. More dramatic storylines. Listen, everything came to a head start, especially at the final when we were delivered Cote d'Ivoire's third AFCON trophy. Yannick, right from the beginning, from the very first episode of this, Mallam Go, you predicted that Cote d'Ivoire were going to win. You lost hope at some point, just like every Ivorian. You gained the hope and went all the way. I would admit and say, when Nigeria scored first, I thought, this is going according to script. They don't play anything. They just sit back, they score one, and that's probably over. But the Ivorians were a completely different animal.
Yeah, they were different. And the fact that Nigeria scored first, yes, it might look like on the surface it was going according to script. But this was different. Throughout the competition, except Nigeria's game against South Africa, teams hardly created opportunities against Nigeria. So it was that one goal. You have possession, but you are not necessarily troubling Nwabali in post. You have one or two half chances, but Nigeria were not being carved open. But in the final, and of course, South Africa showed us that
it was possible.
It was possible. But what Ivory Coast did in that final, for me, it's, if I say I've not seen some before, yes, I don't think I've seen some, because I've been trying to think, especially when you talk about attacking against a back five. So you hardly ever see managers confident enough to match the numbers in the final third. You having 5 men in front of the five, fast and 5 attackers going up against 5 defenders. You hardly ever have that.
The closest I've seen that come to it would be the more recent European Cup final, where Italy did that against England. England got the early goal through Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
And then Mancini got that going.
Yeah.
Spinazzola, Insigne. I don't think Ciro Immobile started. It was the striker.
Yeah.
There was Barella and then Chiesa.
Yeah.
You know, those 5 was like against that's the closest I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was, for me, this was different, especially considering the fact that the Ivorian team hadn't necessarily played this way in the competition. You look at the time for training, contact hours between the players and the coaches.
Yeah.
It wasn't that much. But if you look at the fluidity with which and the understanding, so you see at times, and while I was sitting there, I was from the first half, Ivory Coast were playing from left to right. So Max Gradel, who was playing on the right hand side, was closest to where I was sitting. You look at times, Max Gradel is the widest, and he's the one who's isolated Sanusi, the Nigerian left wing back. All of a sudden, a couple of moves later, Max Gradel looks like he's dropping into the midfield 3, and then it's Serge Aurier who is offering the width there. At times, you see Seko Fofana and Frank Kessie come inside, and they are part of the last line of attackers. Then at times they drop, and it was like there's a whistle going, then you do what you are supposed to do, then you come back into position. It was so well executed. Obviously, the goal was against the run of play,
almost like it was choreographed.
But you look, especially at the stadium, you could just tell that this was different. You could tell that another chance will come, and eventually Cote d'Ivoire will get that equalizer. And everybody in the stadium was just waiting for that equalizer, because once it went in, Nigeria just knew they were done.
Yeah.
There was no coming back from that. And it takes me back to what I said at the start of the competition. If you remember, I said that the Ivorians have this, they they love playing in front of their home fans, and they like the pressure that it comes with. They know how to rise to the occasion. And we saw that from the knockout rounds when 5 took over. Against Senegal, against Mali, against DRC. And it was at its peak in the final. Halftime, you are down a goal. The fans start singing the national anthem. So they were playing Coupe du Marteau, and the DJ was trying to
whip up some enthusiasm.
They just dog the DJ. They are singing the national anthem. They are pounding it all through the stadium. And Charlie Presdo is sitting there. Let me just sneak this one in. Charlie Presdo, the time he come, then they shout and they give him fans.
He get fans. But why didn't you see after they won, when he got onto the pitch and the players saw him?
It was very odd to me because
we know the political turmoil.
He's trying to say that because here,
for here, get fans like public this thing. They boo him. We go the global citizen. They boo him they boo him a couple of times. So it was like, hey.
Also, you too, when you went in, you saw the Abidjan rules. What did you think?
Oh, no, it was good. So but the Abidjan roads, they did it for the competition. So it looks like they were. But I had an
when we were doing Kanjuta, it was that hard crowd.
I had an Ivorian who told me that. You don't even know the way they see Ghana. You go stop.
No,
they see you.
We are PR merchants.
The guy said the guy tell me say they do them arrows. He left small, no, they go reach me. I said, Boga.
Because
have you seen the roads in Ghana?
Let me tell you something. Ghana wanna only be branding their settings.
I tell you,
brother.
Yeah.
Ghana.
But other people they work.
Yeah,
but if you go Botswana, you go see one photo. Let's continue.
Let's talk football.
So they are singing the national anthem at halftime.
That's right.
You could just tell that, look, these guys are going
How
to
did you know it was a national anthem? You don't speak French.
Oh.
But when they were singing it, when the players were lining up, I can't hear the
mention one word or even the rhythm.
This guy. But you know, I'm half
Ivorian.
I'm interested in your story. Forget about him.
So, coach, the boys came out of the tunnel.
That's right.
And they came out first. The Ivorian team came out first. Went to do their small warm up. Then they came and you see Frank Kessié.
You mean the second half?
The second half. Before the Nigerians had come, Frank Kessié turning to the guys, telling them, calm down, those sort of things. And you could just tell that, look, that chance will come. And in the first 15-20 minutes of the second half. No, first 5-10 minutes. Ivory Coast went close a couple of times.
Yeah.
I think there was an Adingra shot that I don't know how Nwabali saved it, but I think it was a Adingra. It was a one-on-one. He came from the wide area. He fired it and then Nwabali saved.
Yeah.
And at that point, look, the fans just knew that Charlie.
He took it to his left foot. He struck it. Nwabali hit his chest, almost his face.
Exactly.
He couldn't go wide enough.
That was the first half chance.
No, I'm talking about second half.
Second half again. Because the first half, the one Chisu just described is the first half one. The one who put it onto his left, fired it across and he saved it.
Yeah,
that was the first half. The second half, I think, was a Dingra again.
Okay.
I think it was a Dingra again. Went really, really close. And that chance it blew the stadium open. This is it. It's going to happen. And you could just tell. And I was sitting with...
and then there was the Frank Kessié header.
The
first header.
The first one.
It was... Oh, God. It was a really good chance, but
very good chance.
There was no power behind it. It went straight into the arms of Nwabali.
Yeah.
It was moments after that he scored there.
Yeah.
So you could just tell that...
So there was the effort from Mas Gradel that was blocked by Bassi. Almost went through his legs and knelt down beyond the line. So there was that one. That's the one. Very early in the second half.
That's the one he's talking about.
He came from wide. He fired it.
Bassi.
Before Nwabali came to pick up the loose ball. But that chance, when that chance passed, you could just tell. And I was sitting with two Nigerian journalists. Because of that, I couldn't properly express myself because they are my seniors.
You were afraid somebody would slap you.
I was taking it cool, sir.
You remember the Abuja day?
Oh, I remember. Check when the guy turned to me, he said, Charlie, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, he saw it coming.
Charlie, the guy be like, he say no. Corner kick, 1-1. Boy, at 1-1. This one, let me confess, I forgot I was there as a journalist.
The only thing missing was Cote d'Ivoire Cales.
See, the semi-finals ever were and I go to when the equalizer went in
we're excited.
And the celebration on the bench, Charlie saw the players came from the
their sitting place.
The dugout.
The dugout came to tend to the fans. Charlie, all over the place. So pumped. Charlie, the whole place was pumped. And from that point, look, we're just waiting for the second goal. Nigeria just knew that, look, it's just a matter of time. And that's what disappointed me a bit. And even the Nigerian journalists by me were saying it. they needed to do something different because obviously it wasn't working. As I said earlier, throughout the competition, the back 5, back 3, whatever was working because, and it's about scenarios, about the lessening the amount of chances that your opposition will create. Once Cote d'Ivoire were opening them time and time again, you're not necessarily looking at scoreline. You are looking at how easy the opposition is creating opportunities. It means that it's not working. And once it wasn't working, they had the players on the bench. They had a manager who I think is good because he figured out this back 3 after the first game. Mm-hmm. He should have reacted. And once he didn't react, look, it was literally just
matter of time.
And then when the Halle goal went in,
you just knew
for me, the substitution that changed everything. The substitution that sealed the fact that they had won. Charlie, let me describe it for you. So Amas Fire is standing on the touchline, yeah? And then the boys have gone to warm up. But as they are warming up, everybody knows who we want on. Umar Diakite. He's the one we all. I say we because I'm part Ivorian. So he's the one we all wanted on. So Amas Fire will turn, occasionally glance, look at the boys. Occasionally glance, look at the boys. He's with his assistant coach. They are working tactics. Then he did.
The Diakite is around.
When somebody tapped
Snap twice.
Somebody tapped Diakite. Diakite 10 way come out the babe. When you fly go there, this way you turn for the fans inside, where you do so.
Anything to pump the crowd. Anything to pump the crowd.
See, the goosebumps, it's like, no. See, there's Halle, there's whoever.
Yeah.
But Diakite, like, he's the homeboy. Like, he's the
they
man.
love him, yeah.
He turned to the fans, put his hand on his ear. Okay. The whole stadium.
It's like, let me paint it for you. It's like an Esnyama playing in Kumasi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
His home stadium.
At an AFCON final, he has to come on. Everybody there is his hometown boy. He does this. Champ.
Okay. The whole place. Even like the president say, won't get up, they do something. No, see, the place was popped. Like, the goosebumps. I'm like, nah, this guy is the real deal.
Then there was the Drogba factor, obviously.
Yeah, that was before.
Drogba is like cheerleader number 1. Even for those of us who are watching on TV, DK, every time the cameras switched to DJ Drogba, like it was something else.
For me, it's even how they introduced Drogba. So it's like they were building up the euphoria and the vim in stages. So the place was quiet, the fans were doing their own thing, DJ was doing their own thing. Then the whole place became quiet. We see some like a fleet of cars coming in. Where they announced Presdo. So Presdo come first too. They hit it. Presdo tap no. Couple of minutes later, the stadium announcer is reading some Charlie accolades too. And they read something.
All for one person.
All for one person. So they read for French finish when they read for English inside. So welcome Didier. Where you come out where they do the who. Hey! Nigerians.
That co-final.
No, see. This thing, like, if I don't go, like,
hey, like you go die.
No. Too much.
Coach.
Yeah.
Could Nigeria have done anything different? I mean, it looks like the script was just written because Cote d'Ivoire came from the depth. Like, they had no business being in the final. And that's why I wanted Daniel to even touch on it. He didn't. You see, the influence of the Moroccan flag after the final whistle.
You see, could they have done anything different? Tactically, as a coach, you say yes.
Okay.
But you remember that I told you
the
word Cote d'Ivoire had gotten to. There was luck, desire, commitment. Everything had worked for them. Faith, because
everything was in favor
at
of
one
them.
point in time, if the Black Stars of Ghana had protected that last or had prevented that last goal from Mozambique.
You mean the Ofori?
Yeah, I mean the Ofori thing. If Ofori hadn't touched that ball, Ghana would have qualified and Cote d'Ivoire would have been out.
True.
So they qualify at our expense. That's the way I see it as a Ghanaian.
They see it as Morocco doing them a favor.
Morocco, even after what Morocco did, if Richard Ofori had not touched that ball, it
wouldn't have meant
it wouldn't have meant anything to them. So you
are saying that Ivorians should be thanking Mozambique as well?
Yeah, they should be thanking them. In fact, they should be thanking Richard Ofori.
Yeah.
It was an Ofori goal.
Yes, they should, because the ball was
Ofori didn't score.
No, but he caused that goal, obviously. So the moment
consider the corner.
You see, if you understand,
people only talk about the considering of the corner, but you should have made that save.
Yeah, even the save.
Yeah, you should have saved it.
Goalkeeping.
The header wasn't
And then
powerful.
So if you start from there, and actually you remember last week I did say that if you put all these things together, I just can't see how the Super Eagles will win. Now tactically, you see, when the cup is there, you should be ready to go plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D. Because there's no other chance. It's going away. So every plan that comes to your head as a coach, look, we've seen coaches. We saw Alex Ferguson in 1999. Bayern Munich, by far the better team on the day. He looked at his watch with less than 10 minutes to go. He more or less dismantled the defensive orientation of United and
just
made
threw
them
everybody forward.
Let's go. After all, we were losing.
If you lose 1-0 or 2-0
you've
or
lost.
3-0, you've lost.
Now, if you listen to the K, the number of times the Ivorian kept coming at the Nigerians without any form of resistance, I didn't see any form of resistance at all.
Yeah.
Because this is the Super Eagles team we've seen throughout the tournament. Very mean at the back. They won't give anything away.
No.
But on that day, I'll use the word shockingly, surprisingly, everything at all were being given away.
Wow.
Defensive, they were that bad. And there was one thing that kept happening. I don't know whether Ole Aina don't have a backup. There are times, as coaches, the way we prepare for games, I'm sure the Ivorian coach would have looked at the young man at Brighton, looked at Ole Aina, and told Adengra, I believe you can take him on. This is the way because now the coaching has become so modern that we tend to analyze the body posture, position, orientation of the defender upon receive. So we tend to tell the striker that make sure this is his strongest body position. Make sure you position yourself to compel
or go
him.
on his inside or go on his outside.
Exactly. And from the word go, Adingra dealt with Ole Aina throughout. So again, eventually, the deciding goal came from that battle. Could the Nigerian coach have just looked at it and said, look, yes, he's my tried and tested right back, but he's having a hell of a time. I said, yes, he could have done that. Because you don't, always, when you are a fullback and you get 10 inside out, it means either you are not good enough at all, or that is one of your bad days. Because when I'm coaching my team, I always say this statement. On the touchline, the advantage is to the one defender. Because the one in possession of the ball cannot attempt any 360 10. Any 10 beyond 180, he himself takes the ball outside of the pitch for a throw in. So just narrow him down, show him where he should go, block him, show him on the line, and get rid of him. And Ole Aina couldn't do that for the entire 90 minutes. Could the Nigerian coach have tactically responded to that? I said yes. And
because
again,
the only reason Adinkra was man of the match is because of how much he used Ole Aina.
That's it. And again, as to why he decided to start Chukwueze in favor of
At the expense of
Simon.
Moses Simon.
Simon, Lukman, and Osimhen, they had their chemistry going.
They played most of the matches,
in the round of 16, in the 1/8,
in the semis.
1/4. And then you ask yourself, why change that? Now, the moment he changed that, you ask yourself, did Chukwueze even put in one dangerous cross for Osimhen? He didn't. I think he stayed too long. Now, let's look at where, in my view, you remember I did say it's going to be a battle between Sebastian Haller and Victor Osimhen as to which of the two teams will actually exploit their number 9. Nigeria on that day, in my view, did not use Victor Osimhen that well. Throughout, we had seen that to bring the best out of Osimhen, Ademola and Simon will go very close to him, not wide of him, but very narrow to him and keep him just in front of them. You could clearly see that the instructions to the Ivorian centre back was make sure Osimhen does not win that first ball in the air.
The Nigerians that say that the officiating wasn't great, and that's what allowed them to bully Osimhen as much as they did, because a lot of them were a little too physical.
No, but Osimhen himself is a bully. If I'm the coach of
Yeah,
Cote
but
d'Ivoire,
he was being elbowed left, right, and center.
he has
one
to.
Of it,
You see, he
oh,
has
one
to.
of it, he even come. I think he
He
was
has to
elbowed once
feel the sensation in his spines.
I mean, I think it was
You cannot allow him. You cannot allow him as a striker to bully. If I'm a defender and my striker, someone whose back is always facing me, bullying me, it will never happen.
Okay.
I can even leave the ball and head him from the back. Quick.
All right, why are you being wicked?
No,
That's
be
a
wicked.
red card.
Why are you heading
No.
somebody from the back?
When the ball goes in the air,
Yeah.
I won't target the ball. I'll head him here. Turn him blind, quick. Out.
You do know there's VAR, right?
No, but
And you could
but
get
head-
sent off for that.
Headbutt is not
It's
a
like a
red
headbutt, but I intentionally I'll head them from here. Go and look at why Drogba, with all his strength, never liked playing against Nemanja Vidic. Go and ask, he will tell you. Vidic was the only centre back in the EPL who could jump with Drogba and head him from the back. And he could feel the brains will begin to anti-clockwise rotate. I'm telling you honestly.
Anti-clockwise.
Your brain will leave the socket of the skull.
That's right. If it's going this way, immediately after the headbutt, you begin to turn. Then you begin to
Your mornings become
you
nights.
begin to do this and say yes. So the Ivorian
Then your
tactically
brain start to float inside.
it's as simple as that. They got Osimhen where they wanted him. So Osimhen now started complaining. If you're
Yeah,
a coach,
he complained a lot.
you don't want that to happen to your main man on the final day. So quickly, could he have done something? The coach, yes. Look, there were times I believe that the way the Ivorians were overly aggressive, stepping forward from the back, he needed to go too top.
Increase the numbers.
Yeah,
and
he
let
needed
them think twice.
He needed to
about going
either
forward.
introduce Kelechi Iheanacho or the other big bulky striker.
Onuachu.
Onuachu. So now
Onuachu.
there were two.
Or maybe
Naturally, I couldn't have seen the Ivorians going 1v1. Or they would have been compelled to go 1v1 because they were chasing the game. But the moment they equalized, they wouldn't have gone 1v1. So if Nigeria had switched it a bit tactically and gone 4-4-2,
maybe that would have changed.
that would have changed it.
Interesting.
But look, I knew, to my Nigeria brothers, if you are watching,
They are watching.
you have done so well.
Yeah.
But there was absolutely no way that we were going to beat Cote d'Ivoire.
It
for the
wasn't
second.
written.
It wasn't written. And the Ivorians on the day, but what we saw on the pitch, the
They deserve to
quality
win.
of the football
Yeah,
that were displayed, they deserve to win.
I
And for
think it's
some of us-
one of those finals where you can't say
you can
that
argue
the best team
you
lost. The
can't
best
argue
team
it.
won.
You can argue it. And
See,
for
sure.
me, it was
Yeah,
very clear.
Yeah,
I don't know where you want to take it from, but just wrap it up for me now.
yeah. I think. Listen, credit to Cote d'Ivoire, right? And we said it here. I said it that once Cote d'Ivoire changed Gaza, the coach, at the time they did, for me, it only meant
Where did they bring
one thing.
that coach?
It's French, is it? I think.
Gazette?
Yeah.
He's a French.
It's French.
It's French.
Oh.
Now,
He played all
the
the-
moment they changed him, I always knew that the problem within the camp was irreparable. And perhaps his relationship with the players was gone.
Yeah.
So all they needed to do was to bring in somebody fresh who can give them a new direction. And I've said it. There's been times in football that we've seen new managerial bounce work. It doesn't always work, but it can work for 2, 3, 4 games. And if it works
To
for
your
4
credit,
games,
you said that.
If it works for
you
4
really
games,
said that.
you're
You
a
said
champion.
if he works for 4 matches,
If
they
one
could
have
take
won
them
again.
all the way to the
And it's
final.
worked for
I
them.
remember that very well.
yeah. But it wasn't only about the managerial bounce. It was about understanding the personnel that he had, MSFI had, and using them to the, listen, Sangari, Kessié, Fofana, 3 very similar physical players. Nobody really brings any control whatsoever into the midfield. In comes Jean-Michel Sarri. So Sarri is the one who's bringing in the control. In fact, he dropped Kessié first
Yes.
and played Sangari and Fofana alongside Sarri. Then later after that, Sangari managed tackle on Sangari, he got a problem.
Yeah.
Then Kessié came into the team and stuck to the position because he had scored a goal, he was playing well and everything. So the midfield dynamism was crucial, and that is coaching. That is coaching. He quickly also sorted out the centre-back partnership, which I spoke about. So it was really Boli who started with Indica.
Yeah.
But now it was Kosunu and Indica playing. He sorted that one out, which was also very important. Then, luckily for MS5, Adingra, who wasn't fit at the start of the tournament, Seb Haller, who wasn't fit at the start of the tournament, got fitter. But even more importantly was how he gradually introduced them or eased them into the tournament. So it
So
didn't
much
for
so
example,
that by the time the final came around,
they were picking. Or they had
go
picked.
9-10
So there were the two players in the end who still went on to win them the title. So it was purely coaching and great decision making and tactical ploy. But what I enjoy about Cote d'Ivoire in the final is that they it's the cliche, isn't it? You save the best for the last. It was their best output in the competition.
It was their best game.
It was their best game, and they were played so well. But again, that was coaching, because we spoke here about how dangerous Nigeria can be on the transitions. And throughout the competition, Danny said it, Nigeria have a way of limiting your chances. However, if they choose the right moments to press and win the ball, they were the best transitioning team, offensive transitioning team in the competition. So what Cote d'Ivoire did was to make sure they were not going to have any moment to transition. So apart from the midfield three in the midfield, the bravery of the back line to continuously step out of the back line to close down space and stop transitions were immense. And when Danny mentioned it again, it's true. Max Gradel would at times make up the extra player in midfield to make it 4v4. And then Sergio Rey will push up high. But when Sergio Rey pushed up high, it wasn't only necessarily to only attack, but it was to be in a position where as soon as they lose the ball, they have numbers to recover the ball.
That's right.
It's
Even
when you look
before it reaches their final
before any transition starts, they are shutting it down.
Yeah.
So through all the game, they suffocated Nigeria. Nigeria couldn't put 6 passes together and feel free and build anything up, because the centre backs in Kosoni and Indika were very brave in stepping up. So they would chase Osimhen from their own half into the half of Nigeria. A centre back will
I saw
move.
that a few times.
They will move. And in so doing, they are compressing the midfield as well with more numbers. And I thought...
And even a very important point, another thing that Cote d'Ivoire did. Now, we saw Iwobi throughout the whole competition played a very unfamiliar role. Because Nigeria didn't have technically gifted midfielders who could start attacks.
Right.
Iwobi had to drop deep to be able to do that. Because he wasn't a specialist, they would press him and force him to make a silly mistake.
I said it here that one of the way to kill.
I remember.
I think you and
exactly.
Andrew were on
They
the
have
same
to
score.
target
And they did it, and they did it perfectly.
And they were waiting for the right moments to do it. They would bait Nigeria to play the ball to Iwobi, and that is why I don't condone all the social media bullying, but Iwobi didn't have a great game, and he's been bullied on social media by the fans. But
and it's not because he's
the
a bad
fans should be
player.
thanking him.
Yeah.
Look, if this is a thing that it comes with the understanding of the game.
Yeah.
If you know what he's had to sacrifice and what he's had to learn within this very short period
To get that goal into the final.
Going to help the team to reach the final.
Yeah, you appreciate it. Yeah. So I like that. But again, I thought Nigeria, having praised Cote d'Ivoire for what they did, I thought that was the game that after they had started and Cote d'Ivoire were getting all the control, the manager maybe should have reverted to the starting style that we saw in the first game against Equatorial Guinea. In that 4-3-3, if you broke the team into the 4-3-3 and played Chukwueze and Ademola Lookman as proper wide players, brought on Yusuf in between Iwobi and Onyeka, and played Osimhen as a proper number 9, the game balances.
Yeah.
Straight right there and then. The game
That's
balances.
another one that he could have done.
So and the reason why I go for
4-4-2.
I like the 4-4-2.
Yeah,
But my fear is I had not seen them practicing in the competition.
Yeah.
But in the first game against Equatorial Guinea, where they were so good, Nigeria is so good against Equatorial Guinea in the
They
first
created
game.
a lot of chances.
It wasn't down to coaching. It was down to people not taking poor finishing. Nigeria could have won that
They
game
had
by
a really good
4-1,
game.
5-1, anything, right? So I'm thinking that in the early second half, as Danny mentioned, when the chances were coming, had he broken the team into the 4-3-3, the nature of the game changes. But that's the thing about managers. When something works for them, sometimes they are stubborn, they stick with it. And in the end, Cote d'Ivoire deserved to win. And Seb Hala, Edingra. And one thing finally as well is, because they were so stubborn in still keeping Chukwueze and at times Moses Simon and then Ademola Lookman narrow, Edingra and Gradel had their 1v1s.
all day.
Sorted.
1v1s. And I didn't expect that Edingra would have the better of Ola Aina as much as he did.
Because to be fair to Ola Aina,
before then, he
was had a great
brilliant tournament.
He
And
shut
coach said
down Dakar, he shut down lots of wingers.
Nobody coped against him. And coach said it's either he's a bad defender, which he is not because we've seen him proving in the tournament, or he had a bad day, which I think he did.
Yeah.
He had a terrible day. Edingra had a wonderful day.
And the coach, that is where
and that is it.
Mourinho, Pep, no matter how good you are, when the
Help
thing is
him
bad,
out.
it's bad. They will rank you out.
Yeah.
But my last
I'm even
point
going to
on
take
this,
him to the other side.
before we end, there was the Iwanko Kano did the Drogba celebration banter. I don't know whether you guys saw.
Oh yeah.
You see, when the Nigerians scored and Kano was like,
Kano was doing sweet boy. Yeah.
all of a sudden,
He and Joseph Yobo. Oh.
then Drogba too was now.
The mood went from
I say Iwanko Kano.
Yeah. And to be fair to Nigeria, they were lucky to even get the goal they got. It wasn't a chance created.
So one of the things that the one thing that I just want to say is that the aftermath of every competition is always very chaotic, and we have seen what the people are doing to the ones that won. We saw how South Africans were received back home. The Ora Tembo International Airport was full with people, came to appreciate them for their third place medal. Then we saw what happened to Nigeria. Of course, they were giving national honors, giving pieces of land, giving even apartments near the capital, Abuja.
Nigeria.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
We saw what happened to the Ivorians. They were giving cash prizes, more than $80,000 for a player. We saw fans gather in front of Frank Kessie's house,
that was a
even the
beautiful
day
scene.
after, still celebrating.
Yeah.
We saw the scenes at Nwabali's parents' house after the semi-final. And of course, we also saw the things that we don't like to see, like the abuse that Iwobi has suffered. Listen, my Nigerian brothers and sisters who watch this podcast, we beg you.
But why were they abusing?
Abusing a player on social media. Like Ghanaians have had their own versions. Andre Ayew, Jordan Ayew, they've suffered. It's not Barbara, man. Thank you. It's not nice. So this is something that we have dealt with a lot. And we can tell you that, listen, it psychologically affects the player. Daniel is very spot on when he says, if you don't understand the players and their own situation, it's not even his position. Had to sacrifice a lot to play there. And by and large, he helped the team get to the final. It didn't work out. Was he the only player who had a bad day? No. So many others had a bad day. Did Nigeria play well and it was just Iwobi who was poor? No. Cote d'Ivoire just deserved to win. Sometimes it's just not meant to be. And that was one of those occasions. So please don't abuse the player. He put everything on the line to come to the AFCON, play well for his country, get to the final.
Yeah.
It didn't happen. It would happen.
But this Nigerian team has got a very good future, I think. They're still very young. And they can grow together. And listen, they can be...
The next AFCON is next year.
They've got a chance. They've got a massive chance,
Don't abuse the players, we beg you. Let's talk about the exciting things. When you win an AFCON, the reception... Even when you don't win, when you get to the final, the reception you get, even as an individual player, I was talking about the teams, as individual player, did you guys see the videos?
Yeah,
So I've seen so far Sebastian Haller, Dortmund. That one tops it for me. You know, he comes saying they're dropping
the Ivorian colors.
Oh, bro,
it's beautiful,
man. You don't get that by getting the most in bonuses at the AFCON.
Hey,
I hope some people are listening.
You don't spend celebration.
Thank you.
You thanking me. You don't spend celebration. You spend money.
But it's
so it's both ways.
Yeah, you fine. See, which would you rather have? Because you already have money to spend. Remember, you're Black Stars. Well, I gave you that. I wasn't referring to Black Stars players, but fine.
That's how you do already.
I saw someone adding Grace one.
Mm-hmm. Single.
I saw singles.
When he went back to Monaco.
Yeah, I saw singles. I also saw even Moses Simon got some love.
Yeah.
When he went back to Spain, he got some love.
Even our own Fatai Sharaku showed some love to Iheanacho.
Oh, senior man.
Yeah, senior man. I mean, his younger Ghanaian brother is showing him love there.
Namely, like, it just says everything you need to know about like, winning.
Exactly. Look, when you win, and your country decides to appreciate you, it's beyond quantification. You can quantify that.
Yeah.
It's beyond measure.
Just win.
Just look at what happened in front of Frank Kessie's house.
Just go and win.
He's sleeping, he and his wife. Fans have gathered outside the house.
Yeah.
They're singing, they're celebrating. He comes out, they stand at the balcony overlooking the fans and he's thanking them and it's to die for. These people will never forget you.
No, that's the people. By.
Listen,
it is imprinted in their mind.
The Black Stars players who will buy land and be fighting langards for the land. If you win an AFCON, champ, if you buy land, then people will protect it for you.
Free.
Free.
So they should win AFCON before they buy land or what?
No, I'm not saying that. No,
But let's go buy the Malawi land guy, they find them. You don't make them find them back. You make them win AFCON first.
But
When
on one
they
serious
lost
note,
gold.
haven't times changed? Like there's an African champion, and look through the African champion. Take a league like the Premier League. There is no player from Tottenham Hotspur, no player from Chelsea, no player from Man United, no player from Arsenal, no player from Liverpool,
No Man City.
no player from Man City. There was a time where it was impossible to play the AFCON and get the finalists with that. Only when Egypt is not winning.
Yeah.
To get any other finalists at the AFCON, the top teams didn't have representation. Is there something changing?
I don't think so. Only last 2 years we could have had either Mane or Salah.
We had both of them.
Yeah, so we could have had
in the
either of
final.
them winning. That was still Liverpool.
Yes. No, I'm saying that it's
And-
been a while. When it's not Egypt winning,
Yeah.
all the other countries always have these players from these top clubs. So I'm just
Represent.
making a point about how especially like in England, for example, the stuff. Is it that they don't have enough African players, or they just have them
Yeah, actually,
in teams
look,
that
I think they
Man
have.
City, I don't think they even have an African player.
No, since Maris left, they
St.
don't have
Maris,
an
they don't have an
African.
African.
So that's it. Man City have no African player.
The only African player now in Liverpool is Mohamed Salah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Labi Keita has left.
Naby Keita has left.
yes.
That's what the Cameroon boy.
And there's Onana in Manchester United.
and
So.
there's Onana. is
And he
at
won.
Man United.
Yeah. Spurs have got Papa Metassa.
then-
For Senegal, he could have won.
Bissouma.
Yeah, they have
Bissouma
two.
Spurs as well. So I just think that those who play at the top clubs maybe
Chelsea
just
have
didn't win.
one, I
AC Milan have got Chukwueze.
Chelsea
Had Chukwueze won? Nicholas Jackson from
No,
Senegal.
just one. Chelsea have one. Right?
He's
Just Nicolas Jackson. Is there anyone else?
No.
none.
Currently,
Yeah,
I
currently
think he's the
none.
only one.
Currently none.
So Ugochukwu is French.
He's French.
Hold on.
Chukwe.
You know where I'm going?
Chukwuemeka.
Ugochukwu is French.
Yeah,
Chukwuemeka.
it's English.
English.
The other one. Noni.
Madueke.
Madueke is English.
It's English.
Is he English or
He's
Dutch?
English.
So how did they end up in...
He
No, I
left
mean-
Tottenham.
Yeah, yeah, he's English.
So you are telling me that Ugochukwu, Chukwuemeka, and Madueke.
Yeah, I don't know of an Englishman with that name.
You're telling me that Koningsdorfer is Ghanaian.
How?
You're telling me that Koningsdorfer is Ghanaian. That one you're comfortable. He can wear your number.
Koningsdorfer.
He can wear your number 7. He's Ghanaian. That one you laugh.
No, his branding is Ransford Yeboah. It's not Koningsdorfer.
You didn't see the back of his
The brand
shirt.
is
This was for the
Ransford
Agua.
But his name is not Koningsdorfer.
No, his name is Koningsdorfer. but we
His name is Koningsdorfer. His father's name is Koningsdorfer.
Okay, cool.
rebrand.
No, yeah.
Okay.